Hello, this is another look at the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Wild Safari Animals set, but this is the B model. Technically, the B and C models are very, very close in their level of complexity. You have almost the exact same number of pieces almost the exact same number of pages of instructions for them. This is just slightly more. Obviously, you've got the male lion here, and then once again, a side build. Of course, I'm going to focus on the main thing here first. We'll go back and look at the side build. I will say that in my personal opinion, this has one of the most advanced, most complex, most clever builds, major assemblies in it that I personally have ever seen from an official LEGO set. It was not difficult to build. It was not difficult or annoying at any point. Everything went together quite well, but I was incredibly impressed by how this head was built. Not just the really interesting thing that was done for the eyes there, that maybe you can see how that's going, but the lead up to that, the fact that you've got all of this at a slight angle in here, and the final pieces that came together for the face. I'm not going to do a build review here. I did build this live on my Twitch channel. Took apart the giraffe and built this live, so folks were there know about it. I'm not going to spoil it for folks who don't want to have seen that at all. But if you do want to see it, go ahead and you don't have the set, just pick up the instructions for it. It's worth checking into, but I think it's also definitely worth trying this build if you're able to. If you're able to get this set and you're able to stay away from the giraffe, build this one first. Even if you want to keep the giraffe, try building this set first, then go back and do the giraffe. It's going to be a little bit more difficult not having the advantage of the pre-sorted bags, but if you like really interesting, clever build techniques, this head right here has them in spades, in my personal opinion. Again, it's not too complex. It's just really, really, really exceptionally clever. And the end result speaks for itself. Totally speaks for itself. With the ears even facing forward with the shaping of that. But yeah, the way this comes together from a center core that looks nothing like this, that doesn't, or you can't even tell what it's going to be, to end up this way. It's fantastic. And then, the shaping of the body is also very good, including up here around the shoulders, the transition between the two planes, and also making it look like there's a little bit of wavy hair there, using the different shapes of the different slopes and notches, I think, to good effect. It's quite nice. And, the legs aren't bad. You do have the holes that show there. It's a little bit unavoidable. The tail is near perfect. I think the proportions are done very well there. And you can see that the lighter color is used consistently for the underbelly and the insides of the legs back here even. That's a really, really nice touch. I personally am convinced that this was completed first before the giraffe. I feel like more went into the design of this than the giraffe. Not that there's anything wrong with the giraffe, not that the giraffe is easy in any way, shape, or form, but this definitely required some special attention to get it the way that it is, to get it as good as it is. This does not feel like a spare parts model, a spare parts design to me at all. No, too much of it is too good, too special, too right for this specific design, for this to have been purely a spare part. And usually it's standard procedure when designers do these multiple in one sets that they do go back and forth and iterate, but I feel like there was even more focus put on this than usual for one of these. I think there's a lot of passion, personal passion, that went into the design of this. One thing that was not good that I started to recognize as I was building this, I noticed it before, but I didn't really focus on it. Here I've started to focus on it, is that these corner tiles, look at that. It wants to keep popping up. It's like it's warped. And look at that. And all of them are like that too. Or maybe not all, but the vast majority of them are like that and don't sit flat. I had been noticing that previously on some builds, but it just didn't really land with me. I guess this one has a little bit of it too. You just feel a little bit of springiness in there, and it's really obvious right here how that sticks up. I mean, there's a ledge right there. Something is wrong with the mold for this piece, and it needs to be fixed because the parts just aren't landing all the way. They're not going all the way down. I don't feel like it was like that before. I feel like it's gotten worse, possibly with the change to increase the speed of producing the parts, the same change that has led to more of these mold marks being much more visible on so many different parts. Increasing the speed, also doing the mix, the dye mix inside of the mold. Maybe the extra speed of extraction of the parts is causing these to warp a little bit too much. So that's definitely something that needs to be looked into. Fortunately, it doesn't have any structural effect at this time, but if it gets worse, this part's going to start falling off on their own. The side build is a plant, a small shrub, or a small tree, depending upon what you see as the proportions of this and the scale of it, because it has also this, that's supposed to be a butterfly, right? It's supposed to be a big old butterfly on it, but it's huge. If I'm seeing this as being closer to the scale of the giraffe, or even if it's closer to the scale of the lion, or even if I don't know what quite the scale is. So it's nice. This is very nice using the eyes there and everything, and the designer had to hide a couple of these printed eye tiles in the main build where you can't see them in order to pull this off, to have them available for this. But yeah, this ultimately is just a little bit of foliage with some nice shaping, with simple techniques. It's too bad about the Technic pieces having open holes. The base of it is pretty good. Probably should have been a piece right here. That might have been my mistake. I might have left one out, but most of this is, I think, fine for what it is, but it's just a side build. However, the whole thing together is not fine. It is excellent. It is masterful. It is top-notch design work. As far as especially the Creator 3-in-1 line goes, this is near good as it gets. Doesn't have there's articulation here. There's definitely plenty of articulation, but it doesn't have the tremendous play value that you might expect or might find if it was a setup to be an A model in the first place. But it doesn't quite have the fit and finish, but it's darn close. This is definitely worth considering. And I'm a person who's usually not a huge fan of the alternate builds, because oftentimes you can just feel the compromises all over the place. But here it's difficult to pull them out and to recognize them. So yes, I very strongly recommend this, very highly laud it. And I think anyone who's interested in getting the giraffe should also give a very, very strong look at this one and consider building it if you have the time and the interest in any way, shape, or form. Thank you for watching. Those are my thoughts for now, and I will continue with this and do the C model as well. See you soon.